he picks up a dueling sword. It's a shame she never showed me how to properly draw it. So I'm confident you'll work it out when you're ready.
Look, Dean, I tried to reason with them. I assured them that this wasn't the time or the place to be making a fuss.
You didn't believe us to begin with.
Are pets allowed at the academy?
Technically, you're not allowed pets on campus.
This pauldron's really cool. I was really hoping to keep it. I won't show anyone.
There's a great stone archway at this end and a stone door that is half covered by this pile of rubble. The rune in the center of the door begins to glow a very vibrant blue. What probably lies down there is something of great potential, great terrifying power that I would honestly rather leave alone.
Did we just tell them where something really big and dangerous was?
And she is talking, or what seems to be talking, to an 8-foot-tall being. And you pack up to go to sleep and prepare for the first day of classes the next morning. The Chancellor stands on a rocky precipice on the edge of the chasm walls. I was not expecting that reaction already.
Chancellor, don't do it. You're so unstable. Chancellor, no.
Her long pink braid is buffeted by winds below, and there is an oppressive darkness surrounding her. The lantern bobs in the air next to her, casting a soft white glow over her face and the wall in front. A yawning cave opens before her, cleaving the wall in front with darkness beyond. With a stern face, she nods and makes a gesture, and there is a flash of a spell being cast next to her in the darkness, and the edges of the cave begin to ripple and melt like wax before merging together like waves crashing until there is nothing left but a smooth, stony face. She sighs and looks down in her hand and slowly unfurls a small, glowing blue mushroom before clutching it again and leaving. Milo, you are having a dream that you've had many times before. Distressing things, disturbing things that you would have rather not have to bring up again and again every time you go to sleep. But this one ends differently. This time, in the darkness, there is a glowing light in the distance. And as you step closer to the glowing light, you see a large stone door. The glowing light, a rune on its face, and it's calling to you, humming, a beating, pulsing energy that urges you closer and closer. And then you're woken up by a thumping, dum 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 dum, and hear Esther calling out as all of you are roused from your sleep. As she's going, first day! And everyone is slowly rousing from their beds and sleep. How have you all slept the night before the first day of classes?
First, I have to know, in the dream, does that always usually end with you hitting the rune repeatedly with the butt of your staff? No! I have not woken up yet.
You're just sleeping through it.
I did. I'm not roused.
You hear in the depths of your unconscious mind, Esther going, breakfast! I made breakfast!
Not in the depths of my unconscious mind, muffled through the many layers of cushion that's between me and the outside world.
I forgot how cushy your setup was. Oh my god.
It barely registers in the darkness.
Beetroot.
Cushion cave.
Carafael is completely just wiped and is just snoring in his little tank that you set up for him. Very content and doesn't really look to be disturbed by the noise going outside. What are you doing to get ready for the day?
Well, I'm having a look around first to see if I can find any bugs so I can just like leave them in the tank. And
Sacrifices. Call them what they are.
Are you just imagining that there's like cockroaches in your dormitory?
Yeah, what?
like moths.
What bugs? Okay, moths. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
like-
You have a little blue light that they like, a little magical blue light. And
zapper.
in the morning, you just
Exactly.
pick them all off and give them to your frog.
Well, I'm just used to the having a flame of some kind and then the moths being drawn to that and then me just being like, yoink, yeah, I'll have for frog. So, yes. So after that, I'm very straightforward. I get dressed and I'm very excited and I've got all my things and I hope that I've got all the right things and I've got like a book and then I am probably going to have a bit of a, not panic attack, but I'm just going to get a little bit anxious about, was I supposed to bring books? Is there a book list? I don't know. I didn't get a book list. And so I'm having a little quiet freak out after I have come to my sort of senses.
Yep. As you all emerge at your own times, Kellen, you let us know when you're ready. You enter out into the space of dormitory 17. Everyone is moving around. There's a couple of new additions that have come in over the course of the week. I won't spend a lot of time on them now because you've already got a lot of NPCs to handle, but we'll get time to meet them later.
They're
on.
around.
A quick summary: there is a full orc with long, luscious hair that has skin that oddly seems to glow blue sometimes.
Nice.
There is also a noble goblin girl named Rekka that brought a wealth of luggage and finery with her when she arrived, and so her belongings are stacked up everywhere. And these are the returning people who went away for the holidays and have come back.
Right.
What's the orc's name?
Magnus. Everyone has already made a start to their day. Robin's actually left for their classes early. Esther and Celine are sitting down in the sort of lounge area having breakfast, and Esther has prepared like a full spread of bread and fruits and nuts. And they summon you over, so once you have all your things together. So
I would like to note that Kellen takes down his mum's dueling sword and clips that on today because he's like, wants to put on...
Today's the day.
Today's the day, look extra fly. You know.
So Celine gives you a bit of a rundown. She says, all right, so your first classes, they'll be introductory classes of sorts. They'll be things that are essential for all adventurers to get a good handle on before you go off and start doing your own electives and specializations. I believe that today you're starting out with the basics of combat with the Battle Master Lucerne. Let me know how that goes. But first, there'll be a couple of steps that you have to do first. For this class, you'll need to go and make sure that all of your weapons that you've brought into the academy have been tested and tagged. So you'll have to go down to the...
tested and tagged?
Yes,
What do you
obviously...
mean?
Well, if people from all over the world are coming to the academy and bringing all these magical items that they may have in, we've got to make sure that none of them are cursed or that they are going to unleash a demon within the grounds of use. Right. Yes. So yes, it's just a standard check to make sure that whatever you're using as your weapons are up to code, I guess. Okay. You'll also need to get your luminary instruments, and she pulls out her spyglass and she goes, you'll need to get these calibrated as well once you get down to the forge. But don't worry, once you get down there, representatives will help you out.
Oh, they weren't just a sort of keepsake of formality. They're
an integral part of your time here. You should definitely keep them with you at all times.
Excuse me. And Kellen runs back into his room.
Oh yeah, I definitely have not let that lantern out of my sight.
Yeah. No. Make sure to have these.
It's hanging on the Mephit's arm, at the top of the bed, and he grabs it.
Yes. No. It's school rules. You must have your instrument on you at all times. It'll help you, get access to certain resources. And once you go to requisitions, they'll be able to process your current progress. And depending on how good you do in your classes, you'll get access to more and more of the school's armory.
So there's not sort of a standard, progression system based around, an arbitrary increase.
You need approximately 1,000 experience points.
I see.
So yes, you will need to take all your weaponry down to the forge. Is there anything else you want to do in the dorm while you're?
But we don't need to take like our adventurer's pack.
It's up to you, like what you take.
I
with
mean,
you.
I'd assume all of it's in the cloaks at this point.
Yeah, as we sort of discussed, you can put stuff that is smaller than a trunk inside your cloak.
Does it just have to fit through the hole?
Yes, which is a undisclosed size. So
But a
a
compressible object could be stuffed in there at will, right?
Theoretically,
Yes.
I don't want to know where this is going.
Are you taking your method plushie?
Yes. You can fit it in there.
Very important to have out in the field.
You never know when you're gonna need it.
Is there anything else you want to do in your dormitory?
No, I'm good.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
I'm definitely having breakfast with Esther though.
Oh, breakfast, of course.
Yeah.
She's complaining with Celine. Her first class for the term is with the Lawmaster Frost, who they complain is quite an intimidating figure in the academy. And so,
Side note, but Lawmaster Frost is absolutely a great fantasy hip hop artist.
okay. So yeah, you head down to the forge, which is a large underground complex in the academy. As you enter in, there's a swathe of students that are coming in and doing their typical requisitions for the start of term.
Do we line up with a bunch of other first years?
Yeah, so the actual interior of the chamber itself, it's an immense circular chamber underneath with rings and rings of workbenches where there are other students, presumably of higher progressions, that are starting off a whole bunch of different craft projects or they may be continuing. So there's, different mechanical things being built or constructs and whatnot all over the place. And it's quite like a noisy space as all of these sounds of anvils and hammers are echoing around the cavern. And in the center is this rising steps towards this large column, this large stone column in the middle with a ring of essentially mouths down the bottom that are sort of belching fire out for furnaces as people go up and take their things and heat their metals and ores in it. But amongst the cacophony of metal slamming metal, you see a bunch of new lambents that are being directed by Conrad, who is going, all right, damn it. All right, lambents, just this way, yes. First grade lambents, come on through.
We just all eye him off as
As
we
they walk
walk
past.
by.
Good morning, Conrad.
Oh, hello. Ready for the first day of classes, are we?
No, thanks to you.
Settle down, everyone. It's okay. Look, I know that things got a little bit heated as a result of the situation, but
By which you mean almost dying.
look, I hold no ill will towards you, considering you tried to throw me under the bus in front of the whole school. That's fine. No ill will whatsoever.
Well, I'm
You
glad
didn't believe us when we told you what had happened.
Look, it was quite
You
an
were
outlandish
calling us
claim.
liars. That was really rude of you. It hurt my feelings, and you didn't even apologize afterwards.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Look, as a token of goodwill, the line for item tagging is quite long right now, and it is quite long as all the new students come through. Let me just do it for you if you want. I can check your weapons, make sure they're all tested and tagged properly.
No.
I have the authority to do that.
I don't think we want any special treatment. I think we're done. I don't know about you two, but I would rather do things the proper way from here on out.
That makes sense.
All right. Look, I'm not going to stop you. Suit yourself. Well, please join the line over there, and I'll make sure that you get what you need.
Thank you.
Conrad will remember that.
He gives you a sly eye, and
I just
away.
it seems ludicrous to me that we would accept special treatment after having gone through such a already ridiculous kind of special
It was a
treatment.
token of goodwill. He was going to
but
Was it?
I took it at face value, but I'm very slow on the uptake for the idea of people being bad.
Yes, you progress through the line. There's a bunch of students there carrying giant battle axes and crossbows. And
Who are we in line behind? I just wanted to know if there was anybody with any cool weapons that we could chat to while we're in the line.
There's a.
Or how far Talon, Juniper, and Pitt are in the line.
I'll give you one. There is a large hulking form of a of an orc in a big shaggy brown cloak who's carrying like a big polearm. It's more like a really long club. It's got like a big wooden knot on the end of it, and he's kind of holding it over his shoulder.
I tap on the shoulder and I say, "Good morning."
He turns around and he's probably...
Oh God! We're gone.
Yeah, the wood just like swings.
All the students in a 15-foot reach duck.
You are tiny, though. It's not going to go anywhere near you.
Milo's.
Well,
do you duck
alright.
anyway, just reflexively?
Yeah, he could have gotten stepped on.
Yeah. He turns around and he's about eye level with you, but it's probably
up about there,
shoulders
yeah.
above you. And he goes, "Hello, can I? Yes, hello."
Oh no, that's just I was admiring this fancy piece of hardware you've got.
This?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I found it when I was a young boy in the forest, and it's been my training stick ever since. And every time I want to try and out something new, it just doesn't feel quite right.
I see. So is it the kind of thing you might be upgrading later to something a bit stronger construction, or is the wood something that suits you?
I as a man of the forest, I kind of like the natural feel of it. It's something I couldn't really imagine adding on to. It's just perfect the way it is.
It is quite elegantly carved.
Yes.
Mine is from the forest too. Hello.
Oh, hello down there. Yes. Oh, I see you're also a connoisseur of the wooden staff. Excellent.
Yes, quite much.
Yes. Where did you get yours from?
I got mine from the forest.
Technically correct.
Indeed.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing your prowess.
Kellen
in battle.
Barlinson.
Oh, I am Lorik Bortusk.
Nice to meet you,
and
Lorik.
Holds out a big beefy hand. Yes. How are you all feeling on your first day?
Oh, fresh and ready to go. We've had a lovely breakfast in our dorm. I don't know. Are your accommodations also suitably friendly?
Very delightful. Thank you so much for asking. Yes, it's very exciting. I'm going to be doing Combat 101 today. I'm very excited to see what that is. I've never really been in a proper fight before. Well, except for, the entrance exam and
of course,
everything.
yes.
Which was quite terrifying, if I must tell you. But this will be, hopefully, I can pick up a few... And he does a really awkward,
Yeah.
tricks,
Well, maybe I'll see you out there and I tap my sword.
Oh, please don't hurt me.
Oh, no, I wouldn't dream of it. I'm a moment in class.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, that wasn't a threat.
Sorry.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Sorry, I get a bit eager 30 minutes after the caffeine hits, so
Yes, caffeine is evil.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yes. Okay.
Yep, okay.
Is that backstory? Like, was your village destroyed by caffeine or something?
Coffee monster. That coffee leshy. I'll get you one day.
Yes,
Shout out to the botanical bestiary.
every delightful NPC we meet has to have a tragic backstory, I guess.
The town was wiped out by X.
Oh no.
That's a interesting descriptive for coffee. What other things are evil?
We're really milking this.
Lying.
Of course.
Oh shit.
And
You're like, you pull out a notepad.
yes, excessive reliance on technology.
Interesting. But people aren't born evil or anything like that. Like
Many are.
Like how?
He thinks for a moment.
As Gianni thinks for a moment.
How? I've never really thought about it. But some people come into the forest and destroy things for no reason. So they are definitely evil.
That does sound very bad. I don't like it when people do things for no reason, and also when their reason is selfish.
Want some nuts?
So selfish.
Snacks.
Yes. I think it is okay to do selfish things. Sometimes. Like, occasionally I want to sit by the lake and just think.
Why is that selfish?
Because I should be tending to the garden.
But doesn't the garden sometimes need to rest? So don't you need to rest sometimes?
I do need to rest sometimes.
If you were the garden, would you want you to take a break?
That doesn't sound selfish.
I need to think on this. And he turns back.
And then it just turns around and he's still there.
Everyone ducks again. The staff swings around.
For the whole rest of the line moving, we can just hear,
Am I a flower? And you make it to the desk, and there's a bunch of different people working there. You see like a couple of people ahead of you. They pull out a magical sword, and you see a very old dwarven man kind of assessing it. He's got like a really long grey beard and no hair on top, and strange sort of like geometric tattoos over his head behind the desk, and he's sort of like examining the sword and tapping it on a few things, and he says like a few things, and occasionally like just giant black tentacles will like emerge out of it with like, you know, malevolent voices, and he just like puts it back in its sheath and he goes,
We'll need to have a bit more of a look at that one. Next.
So then it comes to all of you, and the old dwarf says,
Please present your weapons.
oh, please, after you.
Bring out my giant bastard sword.
"That's rude."
That's a bit rude. Are all swords born bastards?
Have you ever gone to a sword wedding? No, you haven't. So, yes.
I can't argue with that. That was truly awful, but thank you.
You're welcome.
It is our job, as the people that we are, to make Gianni make that face.
Shows over, folks.
Had enough.
So this sword, he does like a quick sort of once over, like touches it a couple of times, and after a quick assessment, he presses his thumb into the base, and you see a little sigil zoom appear around the bottom of it, which is the simple line diagram of a candle, which is the Luminary's symbol, and he presses it. The arcane sort of symbol glows a little bit, and then it starts to fade into a dull little ring, so you know it's been approved. Anything else? Wait, that's wrong peasant.
Anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. And as Milo, do you have any other weapons aside from your staff?
Nope, it's just the staff.
Yep. He gives that a quick look over. Zing, all good. Passes it back. Kellen.
Well, I did have some crossbows, but unfortunately, they've been lost to time.
If you need more crossbows, you can go talk to Kit.
Oh, good. I will do that. I assume they come pre-tagged, so we don't have to line up again.
Anything from Requisitions is approved for Academy use.
Very good, very good. No, just this, and I pick up my mum's dueling sword in the scabbard and hand it to
Do you have
him.
your other sword as well?
Let's say that I do. I pull it out of my cloak.
So he'll check your regular sword first.
Yeah, all good.
And puts a seal on it and hands it back, and then takes the dueling sword, and he goes to pull the sheath. He says,
Can you open this for me?
Oh, yes, of course. And I got to pull it open.
the sheath does not come off.
Excuse me, one moment. Just bear with me. Just hold on, just another moment, please. I'll just be a second.
Is everything all right?
Everything's fine. No, didn't get it.
I will need to see the sword.
Yes, just hold on a moment. He goes to try and pull it open again.
Okay, so we need to establish something.
Yes.
You've had this sword for probably several weeks now. On screen, you have not yet tried to open it, which makes me canonically need to say that this is the first time you've tried to open it.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he wasn't going to take his family heirloom into just any old fight, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's been treating it with quite a bit of reverence.
Because like you used your regular sword on the exam, then when you went down to the cavern, you just bludgeoned people.
I took it,
with
but
it.
we fought skeletons, so I wasn't going to try and open it. I was just going to hit it.
So, which I thought was hilarious because I was like, this is going to be the time that he's going to try and anyway. So yes, you cannot open.
Unsheathe.
You cannot
your
unsheathe
sword.
your sword
At all.
At all.
Okay. It appears to be sealed in some way. I have not been instructed on how to open it. It is a family heirloom, so I don't know what the procedure is for that, but you can examine it further if you wish.
He takes it, and you see he spends a fair bit of time on it, actually, like sort of saying a few different incantations and, applying a couple of different tools to try and lever it off. And he says,
This is quite unusual. I haven't seen anything like this before. You sure it's not just glued shut?
No, I've been assured it's in good working condition.
Okay, well, look, I'll give it...
And my dad is a baker, so he does know everything there is to know about swords.
His skill with a baguette is unmatched.
he goes,
Well, I'm out of ideas, so I'll give you a day to try and figure out how to open it and bring it back if you manage to or not. I will have to confiscate it if you can't open it, because there could be something in it unleashed.
Quite precious to me.
I'm afraid if you want to be at the academy, we cannot have weapons that we don't know if they are dangerous or not.
Okay, I'll do my best.
You know how many cursed swords are floating around in the world?
Oh, but it's so pretty. It couldn't possibly be cursed.
They always are the prettiest. Okay, one day, come back in the morning, and if you have it sorted by then we'll see what we can do.
I'll see if I can sort it by then.
Yes, okay.
Did you say sworded?
I did.
I hate you. Get out of here.
Where was Kit?
Just at the requisitions bench over there.
Okay.
But before you go, can you present your instruments, please?
Oh, yes, of course.
and you place them all out. And he takes each one and
Can you hold this, please?
and holds it at the same time as you. And he mutters a couple of quick words. And you see a small dial illuminate quickly. It's got like a string of runes on it on the edge of the lantern. And it goes ding, 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 back down to 0.
He's like, okay, working. Yours?
And he holds it. And yours on your compass, it's like in a circle. And it goes ding, 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 ding. And then it goes back down. And
Working.
on your spyglass holds
And on
it.
the spyglass, it goes
Just all the way.
Yeah.
Extends. Yeah, no. On the side of your spyglass, and he's like,
Okay, working. Very good. Everything seems to be in order. You can head over to Kit now.
Thank you.
so Kit is a young elven woman with quite ropey muscles that you can tell has just been from working in the workshop for a long time. She has thick dark curly hair that she's sort of like got back with a headband, and she's covered in soot. She's wearing like a tank top, but she also has this sort of a strange apparatus around her hand, which seems to be sort of assisting her. She's manipulating this small stone cube, which has a bunch of like runes glowing on it, and she's like trying to use this apparatus to try and like force it open. And you can hear her going, "God damn it, Hercules!" And this little clockwork beetle contraption, which you probably have never seen clockwork automatons before, emerges up over the bench and like scuttles up to her, and it turns around and pops up its wings, and there's a bunch of little tools that she starts to pull out of it
From like under the wings.
from underneath there.
Nice.
And she like starts to like chisel away at this cube. This is really doing my bloody head in.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Hello.
There, didn't see you.
Don't let me interrupt if you're busy. We can come back later.
Oh, well, you want to solve this? Ah! And she throws it. And yeah, you catch it, and it's this stone cube. It's probably like about fits in the palm of your hand. But there's like just some glowing sigils like around the edge of it.
I'm just gonna play with the sigils real quick.
Yeah. You don't recognize it, but Milo, you see the cube, and for some reason it makes sense to you.
This makes
the
sense.
words the words make sense to you. Can you make an Arcana check for me, please?
Yes, I can.
You could also make a crafting check as well.
That's 20.
20. Nice. Yes, you feel, for some reason, you don't know how, you don't know where this knowledge comes from, but you feel like you can read some of the text enough to maybe speak it aloud. Kit continues. Name's Kit. Pleasure to meet you all. I am the Requisitions officer here in the Forge. I can help you out for any equipment that you may need on your adventures and any things that may break along the way. Well, I can help out with that as well.
I lost a hand crossbow during the initiation
She
entrance
puts
exam.
a hand on your shoulder and goes, "I'm sorry for your loss."
It's bad. I've been feeling there's been a hole in my boot ever since.
It sucks to lose a friend.
It really does.
Well, I can hook you up with another one if you want.
Absolutely. I mean, unless you've got any more interesting hardware that would fill that niche.
What kind of interesting hardware are we talking?
Well, something light, but good in a pinch if I need to get off a quick shot.
Fits in the pants.
How's your aim?
Like the flashbacks of like Kellen just like firing crossbow bolts, wildly pinging around the like archer range and comes back into it. And he's like, excellent.
She goes, I'll be the judge of that. And she grabs a hand crossbow off the bench and she looks around the workshop.
Just around the workshop.
Yeah, where there's not really many people. And she sees an empty station in the column in the center where the furnace is. And she says, if you can get a shot into that furnace opening, I'll give you something special.
All right.
Or offer you something special.
You're on.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, it's going to be one range increment away. So I'll give you a -2 penalty, but it's just a hand crossbow, so you have your standard proficiency.
Okay.
And I'll say that the DC to hit it will be 20.
20? Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Callum plants his feet, levels the crossbow, and just kind of like
You hear like the ringing of hammers in your ear as you're trying to concentrate. Of just
takes a breath and then just like 9.
It flies off and just like careens off a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people at workbenches going, whoa! This like thing.
It looks like it's about to hit it, but then it ricochets off something just a bit closer, like it hits a workbench and just immediately just goes flying off.
She sucks air through it.
Just like that.
Maybe come back later. For now, maybe the crossbow.
Just the hand. Okay.
We'll work on that for me. But, you know,
Kellen slides
I
it.
do appreciate your enthusiasm, so maybe you could come back later.
Kellen slides it into his boot and just kind of like taps it. And it's like,
Yeah. It will cost you, though.
and the amount would be. I really should just have it written down. I'm going to be going through a fair few of these.
3 gold pieces, friend.
That's expensive.
It's a fancy contraption.
All right.
3 gold pieces.
Okay.
Yep. Did you have enough?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
Not a whole lot more than that, but you know.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. And you have your hand crossbow back.
Excellent.
And I'll say you get like a stock of bolts as well that you can use. Do the two of you want anything from?
I'm good with my sword.
Yep. That's all you need. Milo, do you need equipment?
How much is one potion that heals wounds?
Healing potion. So a minor healing potion will be 4 gold pieces.
Time to break that big old platinum piece.
No. How good. So good. I realized I've never ever needed a healing potion in my life, and I never will. Where did you get this, by the way?
We always get a bunch of stuff that comes back from people's different assignments. They bring back loot or rewards that they hand in, and sometimes we just don't know what they are, and so I get tasked a lot of the time to try and solve it. This one came from down south. There was an old fortress that they had to dismantle, and this came out of it. Don't know what it does though. I've been spending the last couple of days trying to solve it, but you know, I'm stumped.
I might. Could I continue to take a look at all, or come by your desk? Or?
Under supervision.
Yeah.
If you came back and worked on it in the workshop, I could always use the help, but can't let you take it out.
No, that's fair. Am I able to scribble down any words at all?
Well, the words would be the runes on the side of the cube. Yeah. Like you can, it's like a
You can
script
read the
that you can
cube.
read.
Yeah.
So you can sort of take notes, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you your notes.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No. Okay.
Milo needs to learn about trust.
Do you know when you help other people out and do favors for them or assist them in some way, that earns you gratitude, which can then be traded for other goods and services. Not to imply that all favors are purely transactional in nature, but you understand how the cause and effect of helping your fellow beings out works, yes?
Shouldn't you just help others because it's the right thing to do?
Also, a little bit of that, just a little.
Kit's just like watching this whole like conversation. Like, you guys have some stuff to sort out.
Just 1 second.
You can't tell me what to do. My notes are mine.
You tried to kill a doormate.
Bye.
Help someone, please.
Wait, what?
Bye.
Should I report this?
Conrad's taking care of it.
Comrade's taking care of it.
Speaking of Conrad, he's sort of like eyeing you off as you are moving around the workshop and going over to the requisitions bench. So he's like just still watching you as you walk around.
That's fine.
I spend most of my time just watching the little Aeon stone every time it comes around.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, so
I'm just sitting there, and then it goes around. I'm like, oh.
Do you have to check the Aeon
yeah.
stone?
So yeah, you would have spent the night like investing that, which is the term for basically making it an item that you can
It
use.
just floats around your head.
Yeah, which meant that after receiving it, it now hangs in the air around you. So you have a little moat of a little crystal moat that kind of just floats around and
Yeah,
and glows.
Carafael tried to go for it a couple of times.
I imagine
I had to convince Carafael not to.
And then because it continues to float with magical energy, there's just a frog hanging off the stone floating around your head, and you're like, Carafael, no.
This all happened in the privacy of my little section, of course.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about Carafael.
So yeah, that's all your tasks done in the forge. You're now set, and you can go to your first class if you are ready.
It's class time.
It's class time, which I'm surprised people are excited about.
Hi. Gianni, we're playing a magical school campaign, and the bit that you're saying we'd be least excited about is the bit where we do that bit. You know, the bit that is the whole bit.
They gloss over it in a lot of school fiction, right? Like you never actually like sit down and do a class. It's usually like a little like a vignette of like 5 minutes of this, and then it's like move on. And then during class they talk about other stuff anyway.
Well, I mean, are you gonna give like an on-camera 2-hour lecture on the history of?
Yes, you will see. In the next 45 minutes, we're going to sit down, and I'm actually just going to talk
over the
to you
next
about
45
exposition.
minutes. Your understanding of this world will deepen. Thank you for coming to my TED
I should have
Talk.
made the Glacian exposition history lesson that you had to fucking remember details from. That would have been funny.
Hey, that happened 1,000 years ago.
You should take dubious
The
knowledge.
Forge Wars.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, dubious knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Beatrice's going to ace everything because Claire's taking notes.
I will ace everything unless you ask us to present our knowledge in public speaking, in which case I will not ace that.
Interesting. Let me write that. Okay. Where were we? Great. So you head down to the fields. So around the academy, there's obviously a large collection of buildings that form the central sort of space. So there's the Athenaeum, which is a kind of central area of academic learning. There's also the Mage Towers, which is a collection of towers where different studies of magic are conducted.
Oh, I thought it was like a gladiatorial thing with spells like shooting across them and stuff. No.
And there's obviously various different facilities, but a lot of the actual like physical education, a lot of your PE classes take place out in the fields, which are basically a bunch of different sites surrounding the academy. So you find yourselves, you see other students are taking up other fields, but you are directed down with other first grade lambents down to what looks to be the like a sporting field. There's kind of like grandstands surrounding the space, and you see a couple of like 2 hexagonal rings that are standing at either end of the field, but it's not actually set up for a sporting match. Instead, the field is covered in what seems to be out of place columns and pillars, which are covering the entire field.
Like made of stone, or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, stone pillars. The class starts to trickle down from the academy and gathers, and you are met down there by a incredibly large woman.
Man, everyone in this
My
episode is like
favorite.
beefcake territory,
Yeah.
and I'm so about it.
So when I say incredibly large, I'm talking about like the build of Miss Trunchbull, like just stocky. She's a human, but she stands probably she's probably like your height. So she stands, head and shoulders over a normal human's height. So she's this kind of Amazonian build.
Bigger lady, very, very strong.
Yeah, and she has this. She has a thick braid of hair that hangs down her neck, and a kind of militaristic outfit of like a deep crimson red, which looks like, you know, pressed and quite official, but it's got like bells hanging off it at different parts. But she is standing very sternly, like a mountain, standing with her arms crossed as everyone starts to file in and form a circle
just a
behind
little
her.
bit.
Okay. She sees your threat. And
no,
raises higher.
not a
kidding.
threat.
I'm
That's
kidding, I'm
like
kidding.
entirely like
Yeah.
admiration. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be you when I grow up.
Yeah. She waits for everyone to come down, and this class, it's not like all of the new lambents. It's kind of like half. You assume some have been split out, so there's probably about like 40 of you here. And once it seems like everyone is there, she speaks in a deep, booming voice that echoes across the arena. She goes,
I'm in love.
I am Battle Master Lucerne, and I will be taking your combat basics class today.
Woo!
No need. Thank you. Now, there are a couple of very basic lessons that you must learn if you are to be a true luminary and a master of combat. The first lesson, she starts to stomp.
I've got my
towards-
notebook out already. I'm like,
Yeah. She starts to stomp towards you, Beetroot, as you pull out your notebook and you're starting to take notes. And then she starts to flex her fists, and she takes a step. She goes, "Your first lesson, stomp, begins, stomp. Now." And then she sidles down and takes a seat on the ground.
I take a seat.
Yeah, we walk over next to Beetroot, and I assume we're behind Beetroot. We're just going to sit down next to Beetroot.
So quick continuity addendum.
it's hot.
It's very hot here in Australia right now, so we are going to remove the cloaks for the time being. And in fiction, Lucerne invites you to take off your cloaks.
Mine's an invisibility cloak. It's still there.
No capes.
No capes.
So she sits down on the ground.
I sit down. I'm like, everything that she's doing, I'm like copying basically.
Are the two of you sitting?
Yeah, we're sitting.
Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, slowly everyone starts to sort of like look at each other.
Kellen's going to keep one hand just like on his like normal sword, just in readiness.
Yeah, okay. So everyone sits down and she waits.
Milo starts drawing.
I haven't prepared anything for the rest of the session, by the way. This is the next 45 minutes. You wanted a lesson? This is the lesson.
Kellen's going to slowly raise his hand, see if she responds.
Yes, you there.
Is the first lesson to ask questions?
Put your hand down.
Do I hear anything or see anything moving around
There's
us?
a bird in the distance.
I'll look at the bird. Do I know what kind of bird it is?
It's a crow.
Nice.
There's probably some bugs flying around as well.
I'm very patient about this.
I'm just
by the
gonna-
way.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I have absolutely no, like, I'm not fidgeting. I'm like
Yeah,
intently
you're just
watching
there.
her with
Yeah.
my notebook, like
Yeah.
ready to take
You
notes.
see Lorik, who was the orc that you encountered in the line. He seems to have sort of entered into a meditative
Nice.
state as he's sitting cross-legged.
Kellen is going to fall asleep if we stay here any longer. So I'm just going to let that ride.
I'm gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, you start to.
I just start to drift because it's like 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's sunny.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lovely day
Yeah.
out in the grass. Just like whilst like one hand on the sword, just trying to be like Zen, just starts to like tilt.
And you come back to consciousness as she asks, quite ceremoniously, "What is the lesson?"
Patience.
And she continues to wait. And probably another like 15 minutes passes. And after that time, she goes, "What is the lesson?"
Battle basics.
Combat 101.
Combat 101.
I actually don't even react. I'm just going to stay in the state of
Yeah.
being.
Yep. Okay, so you're just like really struggling to
No,
keep your eyes open?
no.
Yep.
Kellen fully thinks the lesson is to not say anything and
Okay.
continue being still.
Okay. Another 15 minutes. What is the lesson?
And if Milo reaches his hand, I'm just gonna put it down and be like,
You hear Pitt sort of muttering under his breath, "This is stupid. I thought we were going to fight something." Are we going to fight something? Silence. And this goes on. And on. People start making wild guesses. Every time she asks, what is the lesson?
Milo makes several.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sitting.
Listening to your surroundings.
It's better to avoid fighting if you can.
A smile cracks. And she goes, very good.
I got it.
Hey, that's not fair. That was going to be my next guess.
And she goes, you get 1 lumen. And you see your lantern, one of the little runes just bing, lights up.
And the house with the most lumens at the end of the year.
Will be robbed because Dumbledore says otherwise. Anyway, yes, and then she says, very well done. You are very wise for a new luminary. It is correct. We do not fight.
I also quickly wrote that down.
We do not fight unless we have to. That is the first rule you should always remember when approaching combat as a luminary. Over your time, you will grow to become immeasurably powerful in more ways than one. Much more than common folk may even understand. It's very important that you remember this. That you remember that this power, a true warrior, knows when not to use it. Now, stand up. And everyone gets to their feet, and she says, but the world is not a kind place, and there will be many times when you will need to raise arms to defend yourself, to defend the things that you care about. These are the times that we fight. But you must learn how to do it properly, lest you don't take your own eye out with a sword. So, can I have a volunteer?
This
I
is
love
classic.
Okay. The two of you, please step
Thank
forward.
God.
And she...
I am going to be like this in every single class, by the way.
Yeah, I figured.
You, first. Strike me.
Is that the only rule?
Yes?
Okay then. With arms?
Yes, whatever you want.
Get a kill.
Okay then.
She's barely even paying attention. Like, she's
Yeah.
just kind of like looking like...
Kellen's gonna draw his sword and be like, "Are you sure with a real weapon?"
Strike me.
Okay. And he's gonna get into stance and then move in for a strike.
Okay.
No, Kellen's going in for a feint.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
great. Yeah. Give me
Just gonna-
give me a was it
Deception.
perception? Yeah.
That's a 21.
Ooh.
21's pretty good. So tell me what you're doing to feint.
He's gonna come in like putting on a show of being very nervous.
Yeah, like the tension you could cut with a knife. Like everyone's like,
Like he's going to creep forward, like he's sort of very unsure of himself, but the whole time he's making sure his stance is very poised. And at the last second, he's going to make a big kind of show of going for a very, very sort of blunt and unwieldy sort of strike, as if a
Yep.
beginner would, and then at the last second, kind of turn his
Yep.
blade.
Yep. Your feint seems to like work, and it you dart to the side with a kind of like clumsy blow, and then your sword comes in very quickly. Like you're very happy with how your strike goes straight forward, and then instantly you are face down in the dirt.
Aw.
You are just floored completely. and there is a small cloud of dust that kind of like emanates around. You don't feel hurt, like you've just been basically completely like disarmed and placed onto the ground, and she's just kind of like kneeling on top of you, and she uses a big beefy hand to like lift you back up and pats you down and goes, "You okay?"
Almost had you.
Almost.
Under my breath, I'm just like, that was amazing.
Yeah, it's lightning fast, and this is probably. I mean, like, I don't know. You may have seen Luminaries in action over your youth. I'm not sure if you've actually seen Luminaries doing their thing, but this is like, this is a very high grade, a highly advanced warrior doing their thing, and like her movements were just like impossibly difficult. And I can justify this in world by saying that her level is so much higher than yours that there was not even remotely a chance. Yeah,
even with the feint, even with the flat-footedness.
Because of the power gaps in Pathfinder, it is just, I'm sorry, there was no chance. So that was on me. That was purely a bait, for sure.
Okay. As she picks Kellen up, and sort of, gives him a look and I assume sends him back to the crowd. He's going to turn and take one step and then try and swing around and kind of sweep her legs out from under just while she's not prepared.
Okay, I like this. Give me a go. She begins like saying her next like bit of dialogue. So she's like, as you can see, a regular strike will not.
For if I was just going to try and trip her with my leg, what would that be?
Trip, so that'd be athletics.
Athletics? Okay, that's a 19.
19? Cool.
Sorry, 18.
18. Cool. I don't know what to tell you.
You've already told me how this is going to go, but this is what Kellen would do.
So you're like walking down, and she says, one thing I can commend this young man on is his decision to not, and your foot comes and she like grabs it with her fist. She like crouches a little bit and stops it in like a moment, but she just continues to speak without like a moment's hesitation. Is the decision to not just come head first, to apply a bit of strategy, a bit of deception. Very commendable, and will be one of the lessons that we will look at today. And then she lets your foot go. You may sit down.
I've got like twinkling stars in my eyes, like I'm in an anime. Like this is like the best day.
Kellen's foot just slowly comes back down, and it just turns and walks.
You hear some snickers from people as you pass by as well. It's like, he cannot do anything right.
I'd like to see you try better. Go on, get up there and have a run.
Cool. And then she turns to you, and she says, a lot of the time, just blunt attacks will not be your best course of action in a fight. It is a lot easier to disarm, to disable, to try and arrest. You there, you look quite strong. Pick me up.
Okay. I go over to her and I hold out my hand to give her a handshake.
You're not going to pick me up like that. Come on, put your back into it.
Will you shake my hand though?
Oh, is this yes, a honor code or something?
And so as soon as she starts shaking my hand, I like go with the, like, use that
momentum to just kind of pick her up.
To put her into, essentially I'm trying to get her into a fireman's hold.
Okay.
Nice.
Whomp.
Yep, great. So you charge in and grab. So you can
I don't charge.
Sorry.
Because you're already right there.
grab
You're
her
just
in.
going to reach your arm around and just kind of like pull her
just whomp.
Okay, can you make me a grapple check, please?
All right. What am I?
That'll be in athletics.
Athletics as well. Yep. That's a 26.
Oh,
Yo. Okay, cool. So yes, you quite expertly wrap your arms around, and like you try and heave it first, and like it's very, very hard. Like you've done a lot of labor in your time working at your job, and this is like the heaviest one you probably picked up. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, ugh, and then picking up, and you strain and strain and strain. And over time, you start to feel like her feet like lift off the ground, and with like one final heave, it's just lifted up, and you can feel her weight like crushing your shoulder, but you manage to pick up.
Fucking
the knees are wobbling. It's
brace.
And
And you actually hear like a kind of like, like as she gets picked up.
Big
and
lady, very strong.
I am so about this lesson.
there's a gasp from like the crowd as well as you do this because no one was expecting that, I think. With a moment, you place her back down on the ground with a and there's like another shockwave of air. And she kind of like straightens her coat, the bell's ringing, and she goes, "That was incredible! Well done! I feel like you could pick up something that was twice your size. That's incredible. All right, well, I'll be keeping my eye on you."
I'm just hearing that. Mummy? Sorry, no, Mummy? Sorry. Hi, Mummy?
She goes, "Now, normally the lesson would be that these kind of maneuvers don't work if you're trying to do them by yourself. But I feel like my point is being disproven as this fact. But in most cases, if you are not remarkably strong, you will need the help of your allies. Working together, you can do some incredible things. We will continue to practice these in a bit of a demonstration exercise. So find a partner."
You two will have a great time. Don't worry about me.
Okay.
Please.
Everybody immediately forms pairs, except for you and Pitt.
Oh, are you kidding?
We knew that was going to happen. As soon as you said it, and then I go, "Well, have fun, buddy."
Because
I first looked around for Juniper, but I saw...
Talon and Juniper probably just like immediately grabbed each other and left Pitt by himself. Yes, I think now we move to a stage where everyone is sort of like lining up in a line, facing off with each other.
Nice.
And
Remember, if you try to do something bad and I see, I will have words about that.
Hey, fuck his shit up for me.
Kill him.
Get him.
That was me out of character, by the way. That was not Beatrice.
and yeah, he's there cracking knuckles across from him. He's like, "Just like old times."
Yeah.
We continue through a series of practicing different maneuvers and tricks. I'm not going to go through all of them.
Trips and grapples and
but
shoves
trips,
and...
grapples, feints, disarms, everything. Be a Man is playing in the background as you're all practicing, and you start off really bad, and like as it
There's a
progresses,
method
you're...
brass section in the corner.
I forgot to mention. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot this bit. The most important bit. At the start of the school day, when the class was due to start, across the academy, you hear a kind of like a sort of piping organ sound that kind of forms this chorus in the air, which
School
is
bell.
effectively the school bell. But you're sort of passing out of the forge when this happens, and you see it is the structure on top of the administration building. I don't know if you remember from the last couple of episodes. It's kind of like a whole bunch of like pipes on top of it. And there are air methods that are zipping through the pipes, sort of turning into
Resonating
air and just going through them and sort of like jumping out, and they're sort of playing as they come in from the bottom and go up out the top. And
Method, air fountain, school bell. I love it.
yeah. And so that's where the school bell is coming from. Anyway, I just had to get that bit in there because
No. That's
methods are the main characters, obviously.
Exceedingly important.
Everyone wants more methods, content.
So yes, we go through this kind of sequence of everyone practicing. Pitt's pretty rough with you, I reckon. Like as you're like wrestling, he's much stronger than you, as you are very familiar, and probably throws you around like a bit harder than he should as part of this. Is there anything you want to say to him or do?
Well, it depends. Like if it's just like the physical stuff, Milo will try and be a bit civil about it.
Yeah.
But if there's anything else,
It's just things like he'll grip your arm a bit too hard as he sort of like tries to throw you and that kind of thing.
I'm going to...
You keep an eye. Yeah.
I'm standing next to
I assume we
them.
paired up next to them to try and
Yes.
keep an eye on them.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye, and anytime like I glance over and I think that Pitt's about to do something naughty,
Yeah.
I'm just...
He, with you that close, you get a sense that he's afraid of you. He keeps like whenever you look over to the two of these guys, he kind of like lets off like automatically without you having to do anything. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like he seems
Never actually
to
witness it.
No, he seems to have like a sort of a fear or a respect or something, but he knows that you're watching whenever you are watching. You are welcome to still shout at him if you wish.
If I see him
There's probably like one occasion where Milo completely gets floored
at which
as a result.
point I will just be like, oi.
Yeah. And you feel you see a familiar kind of like flash, like glaze come over Pitt's face, and he kind of stumbles back a bit, and he looks over to you, completely bewildered, and then from then on, Milo, he is playing softball after that.
Nice.
In that small moment of distraction, can Milo just go in with a trip?
At which point?
Yeah, but you only get it as one reaction, right? Is it a reaction?
Yeah, but it would take place over multiple rounds.
It's a reaction.
Yeah, so
Can you just keep doing it?
every round, Beetroot can protect someone. Yeah. Do you want to interrupt Milo?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to
So yeah, Pitt's like walking back to his spot, and you like come in with like a sneaky.
at which
trip.
point I will just be like, oi, you're better than that.
So this is interesting because this is kind of coming from the perspective of one of you now. So like, what do you think Milo sees? Like, I still think we haven't really pinned down the
experience.
The experience. Like we've kind of said, like, you know, they get like a bit of a vision.
Remind me what the
glimpse
like
of-
actual mechanics of it is.
So basically, when an enemy damages an ally within 15 feet of me, the ally can either be unharmed or they gain a resistance to the triggering damage equal to 2 plus my level. And then after the damage, the enemy is enfeebled 2 until the end of the next turn. So basically you have a choice of either leaving him unharmed or going through with the trip and he gets a resistance plus you are enfeebled.
But we've kind of established that people get sort of a moral vignette in their brains that they have to make a choice around or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's like, do I go through with this action and face the consequences, or
I think it's just like the voice of your conscience.
I reckon it's
Like
it's
I
Nan.
think- yeah, I think it's, yeah.
yes, that's so good.
What you doing, Milo?
Oh no!
I didn't raise you to be like this. You wee little scrat.
Is that what Nat
I
said?
thought you did.
Explicitly, in fact, actually did.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you got me.
But it's like it's the voice of someone like that you care
Oh, it's the
about and
tree.
respect the most.
What if it's the
Basically,
tree?
oh, it could be
It's not the way.
That's not the way, man.
Okay, something happens, and you feel it.
So do you go through with it?
I feel like this is a pivotal
It depends.
Milo character development
Who
moment.
is it? Who's the consciousness?
Is it the tree or is it man?
Is it?
I like it being the tree.
If it's the tree, he won't go through with it. If it's Nan, he would know that it would be a bit more of a like vengeance kind of.
You hear just kind of like a
Not cool, man. Not cool.
so you don't go
I didn't
through
give
it?
you
No,
my
he doesn't
finger
go
for you to
through
be
with
a
it.
dick with it.
Yeah, so like you see the opportunity and then you just hesitate.
He's like he's in position for it, and
Yeah.
then you just kind of back off.
Yeah.
away
And then
from
I
it.
just and then continue on with the lesson.
Excellent. Good. I love that. So the day progresses and it comes to the opportunity at the end. Can I ask, actually, like you brought all your gear with, is Carafael with you?
No.
Okay, you got to back. That's smart. Okay. So she goes, all right, everyone, that was very good training. Very good to see all of your progress. I'm very pleased with some of you more than others.
Looks directly at Milo.
Yeah.
But with the some of you, my face just
Yeah.
like lights up like the sun.
Yeah. We didn't really dwell on what you two were doing, but I assume you're just playing.
I assume we were rolling
Yeah.
as poorly as we did last session and just failing to kind of actually maneuver against
I'm
each other.
asking you how to do the footwork for the dueling because
Yeah,
that's now my
that's
thing
fun.
that I want
Yeah.
to learn.
We're doing that.
Yeah.
Look at you two combat fighters bonding.
Yeah. And then she goes, and now I guess we'll put all of that a bit more to the test. What do
Oh.
you say? Obviously, you can't all fight me at once, but,
I mean, we could.
well, you can. You ruined my bit. Well, okay, you can all fight me now. And you see around you, amongst the columns and the fields, So imagine, the Matrix code, the kind of stuff. So imagine that, except it's like glowing runes.
Yeah.
That start to stream into these figures, which start to form up like wax.
Like they're put together by the runes forming a solid.
So out of the ether, these things are being formed. And these wax mannequins, which you recognize are the same mannequins that were used in the entrance exam to create the illusions of
mannequins.
the people that you were trying to save. They form into like these wax figures that are standing around the field, and they're completely featureless to start with, but then you start to see almost like a drawing of Lucerne's face start to emerge on them as a poorly drawn kind of like little cartoon version of her.
Slightly
and then,
uncanny valley.
Yeah, it's very unnerving. And they're kind of like, polygonal, like really bad, Nintendo 64 era kind of
Fighting
polygons.
polygon team.
Yeah, that's the vibe. And then she goes, "Oh, a little bit too lean, I think." And then they start to bulk up as the sort of data starts to stream around them and pump up their muscles. And they grow bigger and bigger and bigger until they're sort of standing to her full height. And then armor starts to form over them, like full plate armor, like you're left with about I would say about like 10 of these figures standing around amongst the columns.
Bigger lady. Very, very, very strong.
Yeah, and they just sort of like stand there like boing, like waiting for instructions. And she goes, right, this is going to be a bit of a competition. So, and she points to a column next to her where she's like scribbled up some stuff on chalk. And she says, "For all of the maneuvers you've learned today, you will earn points if you can successfully pull them off against, as Kellen so wonderfully put it, against me. So each of these will be assigned to a group of you, and your objective will be to take down your target, and your target alone. Do not interfere with other groups. But the more maneuvers you can pull on it, and the quicker you can take it down, the more points you will earn. Those who have earned the highest points at the end will receive a reward from me." Okay?
Very exciting.
So a bit metagamey, the objectives that you have to, as you sort of file around, each group starts to position in front of one of these, Lucerne bots as you make your way around the ruins. If you defeat it under 3 rounds, you'll get 5 points. If you defeat it under 5 rounds, you'll get 3 points. If you defeat it under 7 rounds, you'll get 1 point. You also get points for doing various maneuvers. So you'll get a point if you hit a target you are flanking. You'll get 2 points if you can fully disarm the target and you see that each of them is holding a big club. You will get a point if you can trip it prone. A point if you can successfully grapple it. A point if you can shove it away from you. A point if you can strike it after successfully fainting. A point if you can successfully demoralize it. And even though it is a robot construct, you can still perform like mental actions on it because it's been programmed as such. And the last point is you can avoid a ranged attack from it by taking cover. So you can do each of those once. So you have that list there.
Flank, trip, disarm,
Hit.
grapple, hit.
And begin! And can I get everyone to roll initiative, please?
Let's do it.
I've got a 12.
15 for me.
I got a 10.
Yikes, team. So it's going to go first.
Yeah, figured.
All of the other students, you start to hear like the sounds of battle and clangs and whatnot as they start to engage. With that, I will allow you all to take your position. So loosely, you are in a field. I will say that there is basically cover everywhere for you because there's loose rubble and columns around, but there is one of these large hulking figures. It animates, and then it just immediately starts to hulk forward, and it picks up quite a bit of speed like a truck coming towards you.
Who's at the front of our party? Is it you? Yeah.
And yeah, I will say you can raise a shield during that prep time if you want. So yeah, you can raise your shield up.
Would you give me dueling parry? As in having my stance up?
Yeah,
It's not a reaction, it's a single action.
You had a moment to prepare. So
Yeah.
if it was an action to do something, then for sure.
Cool.
And then she runs up with a move action, and then a club raises into the air with a robotic kind of precision, and then comes crashing down on top of you.
Shield block.
Shield block, great. So that's a 21.
Yes, very. I'm level 1.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
Ooh, would Glimpse of Redemption work on it? Oh, wait, no, it has to be an ally. Shield
You
block.
technically count as an ally, I'm pretty sure. I think. It's up to you.
Well, I'm going to give it a go then. I'm going to say, that's not very sporting of you. To try and tell it should have let us go first.
Okay, I was like, it explicitly is, in fact, sporting because that's what we're doing.
You hear it go, oh no, what am I doing? And it comes in and crashes its club down on you in the last minute, but it still goes through with the attack. So it will be 11 damage as it comes slamming down on top of you.
Ow.
Do you want to reduce that damage?
Can you use a shield reaction and like, wouldn't that be 2
Oh,
reactions?
yeah.
That
So
would
you
be 2
can't-
reactions.
Yeah, you can't use your shield block and your Glimpse of Redemption. So choose which one you want to go ahead with.
I'm going to go with Glimpse of Redemption because then I've got a resistance to the triggering damage.
Yeah. How much is that resistance?
2 plus my level.
Okay, so you reduce 3 of the...
So I take
11.
8 damage.
Yeah.
And then it is now enfeebled for 2 rounds.
Good.
Oh, sorry, enfeebled 2 until the end of its next turn.
Enfeebled 2 is nice.
Yep. You're welcome.
Cool. And then it will... look, it's probably just going to strike at you again. But it will be enfeebled, so that'll mean a -2 to its attack, I'm pretty sure. So it's strength-based. So take a status penalty to your enfeeble value to strength-based rolls and DCs, including strength-based melee attack rolls, damage rolls, and... Yeah, so it's -2 to attack and damage rolls with strength weapons.
And then minus because it's its second attack.
Correct, yeah. So that will overall be a... Not much, actually. So yeah, the second one will come crashing down next to you as you manage to deflect it. Cool, which brings us down to Kellen.
Nice. Yeah, Kellen's immediately going to do something flashy and try and tumble through its space to try and end up on the other side of it, so that he can get a nice attack in.
And we flash back to a little vignette of you training with Milo, and you hear Lucerne going, "You have to be fast to tumble through. You've got to be quick so that they don't see you coming through," and then give it a go.
Gets the twinkle toes going and then just pew.
Yeah. After several unsuccessful attempts, I think this will be your attempt.
That is a critical failure. Thank you and good night, everyone.
So what happens on a tumble through?
I actually don't know. Hang on, let me look it up.
No, I got it. See, this is the learning the game episode, everyone.
Oh my god.
So if you fail, there's no critical failure condition, which is good.
Nice.
So your movement ends and you trigger reactions as if you had moved out of the square you started in. However, it does not have an attack of opportunity, so you're fine.
It doesn't work.
It just means that you just faceplant, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna stand up and just.
Well, sorry, you're not actually prone. You
Yeah.
just stop.
I just try to, and then I don't actually make it through.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna hit it.
Okay.
just like go to tumble, and then just kind of like tumble into it as I stand up. It like ends up just like bouncing off its chest, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. You hear it go, ha, ha, ha.
12. I'm rolling like garbage
12?
today.
Okay.
Hot garbage.
Yeah, no luck, friend.
Um,
Your sword just like pings off the wax armor that it's created.
Kellen's just going to get back into dueling stance and just kind of hang out.
No.
He's too embarrassed.
No witty one-liners?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to try and trip. Is that athletics?
Sorry, athletics, yeah.
No, that's a 14.
It's all garbage today, guys.
14. That will not be enough, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So that's one action to trip.
Yeah. I'm gonna then go for a strike with my bastard sword. Let's see if this does any better. That does not do any better.
What was that?
That's an 11.
You take multi-attack from trip, I believe.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So trip is an attack action, so you will take the penalty. So yeah, again, your sword comes in, and it feels like this thing is insurmountable as it currently is for all of you.
Can I grapple while holding onto my sword and shield?
So you technically need a free hand to grapple. So you could drop one and do it. However, it is also an attack action, so you'll be taking a -10 to it for this round.
We are just not doing well, hey?
I imagine disarm is also an attack, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an attack, but also
do need another
you need
hand for
special
it.
weapons that have the disarm trait that let you do it with the
I
weapon.
just wanted to grab it from her.
Yeah. No, you'll need to.
What else is on here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. Hit the target. Didn't do. Fully disarm. That's not going to work. Trip. No. Grapple. Shove a target away from you.
It is also an attack, I think.
I'm going to try that, though.
That works.
Yep.
Trying to go for a shove.
So yeah, after your frustrating attempts, you just like into it. Cool. Give me a athletics check again.
And that's now -4.
That'll be -10 because it's your third attack action.
Frick.
You could get a 20.
I didn't get a 20, though. I did not succeed at that.
The robot Lucerne continues to go.
I just like
Hang on.
try and shove into it.
What was the DC? Because there is a crit failure on shove.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, you fall over.
You lose your balance and fall prone.
So what was your DC?
So what did you get total?
So it would have been 2.
Against its reflex DC, which I believe is probably going to be higher than 12.
Against reflex or fort?
Oh no, shove is fort. Sorry, I was thinking of trip.
Did I?
You're
I
on the
get so
ground.
annoyed. I just go to shove and then I just fall backwards because it's just
You
so
just
solid.
bounce off it.
Yeah. And it continues to mock you and says,
Not so strong now, are you?
I'm still learning.
You'll get there.
It's weirdly encouraging whilst still being. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now I must crush.
All right, Milo, it's all on you, buddy.
Milo's been pretty unenthusiastic about combat this entire time, but he will look at his staff for a second. How sunny is it?
how sunny is it? I'd say it's full sun. It's like
Full
midday.
sun?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, actually, it's probably afternoon by this time, but like it's still
Like 2 or
it's
3.
clear.
Like it's
Yeah.
very sunny.
All right, so he's gonna grab a pocket mirror which is dangling from the trinkets of his staff, and he's going to flick it and manipulate the light bouncing off into the eyes, and he is going to try and blind the robot. If that's
Now, what skill uses the blind action? So what skill is the blind action?
What skill uses mirror? Oh my god,
It's got to be like a performance
See,
or something.
I'm very worried because if I set a precedent that you can just blind people every combat with a mirror, I'll set a hard DC for it, and I will say it'll be a it's more like targeting, like you're trying to get it into its eye. So I would say it's like very finesse based. So maybe do like a thievery, because it's kind of like you're trying to like use very fine manipulations to target it.
yeah, makes sense. What is it? That's
19.
that is a 19. So that's a 21 altogether.
yes.
21. Okay. Yeah, look, okay, I won't blind it with the condition, but I'll give it a temporary dazzled, I think. Dazzled.
As a free action, I am going to use Razzle Dazzle, so that is going to extend it for a round.
Is that a thing?
Razzle Dazzle, yeah.
Okay.
What? What is this?
Tell us about Razzle Dazzled.
I'll bring it up in a second.
That's so cool.
An ancestry feat for gnome. Once per round, as a free action, after you blind or dazzle a creature. So you get to extend the duration of the blinded or dazzled condition. You give the target by 1 round.
This is how you got out
that's
of a lot
awesome.
of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Old trusty mirror.
I like imagine you probably have a lot of like pocket sand as a kid.
yeah. Oh, Milo would. Okay. Okay. I like this. Okay. So it's dazzled, I'll say, which means that you're all going to be concealed to it for 2 rounds.
Nice.
Cool. And so that's probably an action to pull out your mirror.
Yeah.
Action to try and blah. And then is Razzle Dazzle also an action? Or is
I
that?
think Razzle Dazzle is a free action.
Okay. So what do you do
with
with
the
that
last
action?
one? I'll move up, like just behind everyone.
Okay.
You're
Cool.
gonna try and flank it.
No.
Yeah. So the 3 of you are still standing pretty much in a line
Yeah.
currently.
Well, yeah. I'll move to the side. Yeah.
Yeah, Beetroot and I just kind of bounced off it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to flank it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So Milo darts around as the two of you are floundering in front of it. Milo darts around to the other side, like trying to use the mirror and whatnot. But yeah, you managed to get to the other side, so it is now flanked. It's now
Excellent.
flat-footed
Let's get some
to
points.
your attacks. So you have to land a strike while flanked to get it.
Yep.
So then it's the top of the round. So it is now. So now one round has passed for the point tracking, and it is enfeebled until the end of its next turn.
Yep.
Or okay, cool.
The end of this
So it is
turn.
Still enfeebled. Okay. It's going to reach out a hand and pull it back into a fist, so not the one that's carrying the club, and bring it crushing down onto you, Kellen.
Rude.
It's a natural one.
Excellent.
So yeah, it just swishes past you after being blinded because of the mirror like glinting in its eye as a result. It lands its concealment check on you for its second attack.
Multi-attack.
12.
Nope.
Nope. Cool. Yeah. So it's just like flailing now over the top of you. But it will take a step back, I think, to try and get out of this flanking situation. So it's going to start to like shuffle back. So it'll take a move to get out of the flank again.
Okay.
And it says,
Come at me from the front, you cowards.
No, I'm a coward.
Kellen, you're up.
And I look at it and I say, with a face like that, all I'd need is a stiff eraser, and let's just say your days are numbered, and I'm gonna bon mot it.
I don't know how to feel about this. I am a robot.
With a terrible cartoon face.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an 18, and it's will DC.
Will DC. Cool. That'll do it.
Okay, target is distracted and takes a -2 status penalty to perception and will saves for 1 minute.
Make 2 to perception.
And will saves. It says the target is distracted, but I don't know if that means it's just a descriptor.
That's flavor text.
Yeah, cool. The target can end the effect early with a retort to your bon mot. This can either be a single action that has a concentrate trait or an appropriate skill action to frame their retort. The GM determines which skill actions qualify.
It will not be creative enough to do that.
It's going to take that penalty for 1 minute. And I'm going to gain panache. So
Hell yeah. Okay, cool.
So I'm then going to stride very confidently up to it and use my confident finisher attack and just poke it in the face.
Yep. Cool.
Here's the eraser. Come on.
You see its like animated face just like flash into a frown.
It's a 14.
But it's also enfeebled.
So it's a 14 total for the attack.
Effect for
It's a 14
AC.
for the total attack.
14 to hit.
Yeah.
Won't hit.
But because it's a confident finisher, I deal half of my 2d6
Okay.
precise strike damage still.
Great. So how much is that?
So that's it was 11. However you round that, halved.
I'll round down. So 5.
Yep.
Total damage. Cool. Yep. Cool. So you strike, but you see your sword crack into the armor, and it doesn't seem to penetrate much. The strength of this protection that it's formed around itself seems to be blocking pretty much most of that damage.
And then with my next action, my last action, I'm going to try and tumble through its space to both flank it and get my panache back.
Yep.
So
you'll need to move actually to strike because it moved away from you.
Oh yeah, okay.
So you'll need to move strike. Oh no, you bon mot move strike.
Okay,
So
that's fine then.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Beetroot.
So I'm prone.
Yes, you are.
I'm gonna stand.
Yep. So you get up.
That's very embarrassing. Back up. I'm gonna. Have you flanked it?
No, I didn't get a chance, so it's
All
not
right.
flanked yet.
I'm gonna try and move so that I can flank it, and then I'm gonna strike it.
Yep.
Could I argue that bon mot is equivalent to a successfully demoralize an opponent? Because you didn't put it on there.
I'll allow it.
That's got to be a point, right? Because I'm not demoralizing. I'm bon
It's kind
motting.
of the same theme of intimidating it somehow. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
So yeah, I'll give you those points.
Cool. And now it's flanked.
Yes. So you'll stride to go to the other side of it. You stood up, and so you have one action left.
Yeah. We're gonna hit. Ooh, 22.
22 is a hit, baby. Yes! So as the two of you now flanking sides of it, you come around and swing and crack it into the back. So roll me your damage.
Hell yeah,
you hear it go.
1d10.
You are learning.
+4. I do 7 damage.
7 damage.
Nice.
Cool. And your cleave goes through it, through the armor, and you feel it strike something on the inside.
Ooh, we should get its heart and crush it. I'm saying that as, I'm saying that as Claire.
Okay, good. I thought Beetroot was saying that to me, and I was gonna be like, what the fuck?
The
It
blood,
is,
the
you can
bloodthirst.
tell that it is Beetroot when I go into the Beetroot voice.
Yeah. Okay. And
Claire's
then
just bloodthirsty.
Okay.
We know.
Milo.
Milo is going to trudge up, and it's already flanked.
It also has an eggs to its will DC, so.
It goes after me, doesn't it?
Yes.
He's going to try and demoralize it. He's going to say, "Oh, you're in for it now. We're going to grab your heart and crush it."
We're going to get a flashback to a training exercise, and Lucerne is encouraging you and Pitt to yell at each other to try and fake out the other one, and Pitt's giving a very guttural like, "Ah!" And what would be your response as you like charge into combat to try and demoralize Pitt?
You're a big bully. I don't know.
And we're back.
Pocket
Give me a demoralize.
Yeah. All right. So that would be a 7 plus. What is demoralize? That is intimidation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 9.
9. No. So what did you say?
Or bully.
You're a bully. That's what I end up saying to the robot.
Yeah,
by
it's the
accident.
same thing.
I mean, that tracks. Because that probably feels about like a 9's worth of an intimidation, right?
Okay. Sorry. Beep boop.
Cool. That doesn't work.
Yep. I'm gonna try and.
Milo, you should hit it.
Yeah, I was gonna do that anyway. But yeah, he'll try and hit it.
It is flanked, so, you know,
There's a chance.
Yep. Actually,
even for you.
Yeah.
he's going to prepare an 8 action to disarm.
Thank you. We did it. Okay, great. Excellent. Very good. So Aid will take an action to prepare to disarm. And basically, when either of you, who are also threatening, go to do a disarm check, Milo can use his reaction to potentially give you a bonus on the aid check.
But how do we disarm if we don't have the thing that can disarm it?
I
You
can
just
have
need
a free hand.
Yeah. Yeah. So if your hands are full, it's hard, but you can do it if you have a free hand.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. Great. Teamwork. Love that.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's you now.
And then it's me. Cool. So not enfeebled anymore. However, you are still concealed for this round. So it's going to take its club, and then it's going to swing around in a circle. Like the torso will just like rotate in a circle.
How does concealed work?
It means that there's it has to roll a DC 5 to even hit any of you to start with.
Is that a flat check or is it a particular
It's a
skill?
flat check. So
Okay.
I'm going to roll 3 checks to see if it actually gets all of you. Milo, it clears you. It doesn't see you, so it goes
It's just over his head.
But Kellen, it's going to go for a strike against you, which is a 21.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That's
but that's max damage. That's a 12.
Oh, yep.
As this club swings and crushes into your
Oh, but
stomach.
when he does that,
Yep. Okay.
that's not very nice to us on our first day.
Look upon your robot god in
Does
dismay.
it continue with the attack?
Either unharmed or it's enfeebled again.
I think it's going to go through with the attack. I
Yep.
think it hasn't got the moral complexity to actually make the decision not to go through with it, but
Yeah.
I will still let it affect it.
But it's the
Yeah.
3 damage.
Yeah.
So
3 damage less.
cool.
And
Nice. That's a
enfeebled
lot
again.
better. That's only 9
And
damage.
it will be enfeebled, which I guess will still affect. Oh no, because it'll happen after the action. Sorry, take 5. Sorry. So that's 13. Hit you. No, not a chance. Yeah. So yeah, it swings around.
I have righteous justice on my side.
And then
I have a gaping wound on mine.
you see it pull up its other fist, and the string of runic symbols starts to curl around it again, and it starts to melt and form into like a Mega Man cannon.
Oh, no!
Like it turns into like this cylinder That's on its arm, but that'll be its last action.
I'll show you next round.
And so that's 2 rounds past. So we are then to Kellen.
Okay.
Let's whack the shit out of it.
Yes, I'm tumbling through. I want my panache. So, because I assume I'm still right next to it.
Yep. Yeah. So the 3 of you are kind of like triangulate.
Oh my god!
That's again.
That's your 3rd natural one.
I know, and it's the same action again.
That's hilarious. You are not destined.
Damn it!
It's just a girthy bot, you know.
Yeah.
It's really.
Do you know what? Screw this. I have a free hand. I'm just going to grab its Mega Man cannon and just try and tear it off. Disarm the cannon.
Literal disarmament.
I'm choosing the cannon to be the weapon I'm disarming. You work that out.
Okay, sure. It'll be much harder. I will tell you that because it is.
Disarming.
But I've got aid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Give me a disarm. Is it athletics? Yes. So you can roll it out of its grasp.
That is a 22.
22.
Yeah.
Now, can you? Do you?
What's the
I mean,
aid?
do you want to use your aid for this action?
Yes, yes. So that's a DC 20 check to help. So I'll be doing the same kind of check.
So for an aid, you will do a similar check, or like it's a bit loosey-goosey, but for this it'll make sense to do the same check to also try and grab onto it. So you're waiting for Kellen to grab onto it, and then you see
Cool.
something
I
as
should
well.
have read that more because
And if you get a 20 or above, you give a +1.
cool.
What'd you get?
I got an 11. I have a -1 to athletics.
That's okay.
kind
You
of
didn't make
holding
the
a
situation
stick
worse.
out.
22.
22 is a success. Now, disarm is a tricky action in 2nd edition because you only actually get rid of the item on a critical success. However, with a success, you loosen its grip on it. I don't know how that works for an arm.
You weaken
but
your
I
opponent's
will-
grasp on the item
yeah.
until the start of that creature's turn attempts to disarm the opponent of that item, gain +2, and the target takes a -2 to attack. So subsequent disarms get better.
So for this round, more disarms will basically be cumulative to disarm it. And it also takes a penalty to attacks because you're sort of like loosening its
Cool.
grip. So yeah, you feel like the sleeve of this gauntlet start to come off, but it's still holding on to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to then, with my last action, prepare an aid to continue helping with the disarm.
Okay, great.
At which point, I'm going to drop my shield.
Yep. Are you communicating this to each other at all, like verbally as well?
Yeah, I'm like, go for the cannon, go for the cannon.
Okay. I'm going
As
for the cannon.
and my aid is, I'm holding onto it, and it's like wrestling with me.
Yeah, I'm dropping my shield, and I'm going to go for a disarm as well.
Yep. Okay, great. Make an athletics.
Big lady, very strong help.
Ooh, these rolls.
Spicy.
Do you have? Oh, you used yours.
Would
10?
10 be a...
10 total?
Yes.
Yep, that's a crit fail.
Can I aid to prevent the crit fail?
You can.
Because it's my prepared action,
Yes,
right? So
you can.
it's not going to trigger this round unless.
Yes, yeah. So
Are
you
we all just hanging off?
yeah, you're all just like
arm?
clutching onto this cannon. My arm.
Because I did say that would be the triggering action.
Yep,
So
you did. So yeah, go for it. Make another one. And I don't think this takes a penalty because it's a reaction.
It's a 22 again.
22. Cool. So that works, which means that you get a +1, which means it's not a critical failure. So somehow you managed to struggle together. But it is
because otherwise you would have fallen over.
Again.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, you just would have been flat-footed, but same thing.
Yeah, cool. So I have made the disarm check for the cannon higher, just so you know. That's
I'm aware.
why it's more challenging. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, you would have taken a +2 anyway. Did you add your +2 from my circumstance bonus to that?
No.
Yeah. So there you go. So,
Milo.
so you see your compatriots hanging off this
So
cannon
was dropping
arm.
the shield one action as well?
It's a free action to drop a
Because
weapon.
then drop,
Oh, sorry. Do you have another one?
disarm. I should have one more.
Yeah.
Should I prepare an aid?
To disarm. I mean, it's only going to give us a +1, and it's already taking a +2 to the circumstance to disarm. So
I feel like it could all potentially accumulate.
Or should I just go for an attack?
Well, here's the thing. Fully disarming an opponent is only worth 2 points. So landing an attack whilst flanking is probably better. And Milo is still flanking it, I
Yeah,
think.
all right. I'm gonna whack it.
Yeah.
But that's minus
Disarm is an attack. So yeah.
minus
Mm,
5.
yeah, no, -5.
All right. Gonna attack.
Hit it.
Okay, so actually, good point. So aid gives a circumstance bonus, and the disarm gives a circumstance bonus. So I don't think those stack
Oh, they don't?
because they're the same bonus.
Oh,
type.
right. So
Yeah.
circumstance bonuses don't
Yeah,
stack.
so aiding and disarming will not both help a disarm, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I mean, I didn't critically fail. That's the.
well, no, but my action was useless then because it was going to have a circumstance bonus anyway.
Yeah.
But
It's okay. Now we know.
we'll just roll
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, attack. That's gonna be a 12.
12. No.
This is not going
So
well
yeah,
for
it's
us.
just chonk, but it's like holding on to you with this cannon. Cool. Which brings us to Milo.
Is it flanked still?
It is flanked still. Yeah.
It's flanked, and it does take a neg to will saves, caster.
But we're doing combat.
I don't know if you've got something fun that can
didn't,
help
she
out.
Didn't, she didn't outlaw any magic.
She didn't?
No.
It says defeat the target.
Okay.
Can I use magic?
Do you want to cross it
Just
out?
defeat it any way we can.
Okay, I'm going to cast. I'm going to cast good old color spray.
Yes.
So we'll save.
It
It's
is.
gonna take a neg 2
12. God, it's
with the neg 2.
That don't do it. Failure. The target is stunned and blinded for 1 round and dazzled for a minute.
Tap.
I'm also using Razzle Dazzle.
Okay, so it's always going to be.
It's just dazzled the whole
Dazzle
time.
is a minute. That's a long time. I don't think extending it by 1 round will help, will it?
No, it's extending it by a minute from now again. So like,
Or does it double the?
It's blinded for a round, so it'll be blinded for 2 rounds if I use Razzle Dazzle.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Yes.
we're stacking buffs.
Yep. That's the way. Great. And so, but then it's going to be dazzled forever, right? Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Do some damage.
Yeah.
Let's get some hits up.
Now I am going
2 actions.
Yeah, that's 2 actions, free action. Can I whack it?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna whack it.
No, you're not allowed to whack it.
That is a 8.
We can't hit this thing.
Nope.
Also,
real
Milo's
bad.
the worst person to try and hit things with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're real bad at this.
We
we
have
haven't
not- we have
disarmed
not-
it. We haven't tripped it. We haven't grappled it.
We haven't shoved,
shoved it.
We haven't striked an opponent after fainting. We have successfully demoralized because you gave me that for Bon Mart.
Yeah.
And it has not
Done a
started its range
attack
attacks yet.
because we've been trying to grab its
And
cannon.
this is the start of the 3rd round.
It shakes you off after gripping onto after you've been gripping onto its arm, and then immediately you see a swirling light start to fill up into its Mega Man cannon, but it's taking time to charge up. You see almost like a meter go do 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 do.
When the character model starts to flash, don't be on the same level as it. Make sure you step on the platforms.
Yeah.
Or you'll get.
So it spends 2 actions basically going, and then with its last one.
Oh, it is stunned as well. I realized with its color spray.
Oh shit! So it only gets 2 actions.
fail.
Color spray stuns.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
It's why I do.
Okay, well, it's just charging its cannon then. It takes 2 actions to charge its cannon, so it's not going to actually do anything with its 3rd action.
All right.
Cool. So, because stunned reduces your actions by 1.
Gimme
Then it's Kellen.
that. Tumble. Yes. Thank Christ. Acrobatics.
Yep.
23.
You did it.
Excellent.
We did it.
So I tumble through. I gain panache. I am now flanking. I stand up. I'm going to go for a feint, and then I'm going to hit it.
Great. I love that plan.
So
Let's see. Let's see how it pays off.
Deception for the feint is 17.
Is that against perception DC?
Target's perception DC.
It's 17.
So it's 17. I rolled a 17. Goes
So
to the,
you get
cool.
Regis DC.
So
yeah.
I feint. That's going to make it whatever feint does. And then I'm going to attack it with my finisher.
Well, fainting. This is. We're doing this to learn. So feint.
Success. Your foe is fooled, but only momentarily. The target is flat-footed against the next melee attack that you attempt against it before the end of your current turn.
Flat-footed. Great.
So, Pam, I'm going to use this.
Hell yeah. All right. We love to see it. Hero point, baby.
So it becomes a success. So that means that I do a bunch of damage. Cool. So we're going to roll.
And you also
And we get to tick off a feint.
successfully-
Yeah. Strike an opponent after successfully fainting. Cool. All right. So it's going to take 5 + 1 + 2.
8.
8. And then it's going to take another 2d6 for the finisher. So that's
my
going to be 2 plus 6. So 16 total damage. As I flip over, teleports behind you, and then just ka-choosh.
Holy gang, we're doing it. So
We're back, baby!
your sword comes and cracks into it, and there's actually an interesting effect that happens when you do that, because once your sword plunges into it and gets a bit of traction on the inside, you hear it go, ow. And the armor on the outside of it starts to crack, and it crumbles off to reveal just a very bulky but smooth like wax
So we've knocked
body
its armor
underneath.
off.
Yeah. So the plating on the outside is now gone, which means that its AC and hardness have actually gone away. Its AC has been reduced, but it doesn't have any hardness resistance anymore, which was blocking your previous attacks.
All right, that is me.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good
thank
turn.
God.
Very good turn.
Glad I used that.
Cool. So yeah, you see it sort of like stumble back a bit, and it kind of like is a bit, I think, surprised that that you managed to land such a deft blow, and it goes,
All right, let's go then. Let's go. Let's
Just
get spicy.
shrugs the last of the
Yeah.
armor off and is like, yes.
Yes, yes.
Let's try hidden. I'm a whack it.
Whack attack.
19.
"That'll be a hit."
Nice.
Yeah.
Deal some damage.
Come on, do better. Do better this time, please.
9.
Ooh, plus 4. 13 damage.
13. Oh boy. Cool. And that is not resisted at all, so it just comes completely cleaving through and leaves a huge gash in it, and it sort of stops for a moment, and then it just like teeters and falls forward and crashes down.
We
onto the
tripped
ground,
it!
but-
Yeah, you just like after it lands, you just put your foot in and you're like, see, I did it.
and it goes,
No. I fell on my own volition.
Damn it!
and yeah, there's just a moment's silence as this thing is collapsed on the ground, and then the data material starts to just peel off it and leaves just like the mannequin, the skinny mannequin, just sort of lying on the ground, just like a face on it.
God, I hate these mannequins.
And you come back to your senses of like everyone else is like still in their combats. You actually were the first ones to
Well
do
done,
it. So,
team.
yeah, I predetermined this, and yeah, you managed to be the first ones to do it.
We take a few rounds to get going, but then once we build a bit of momentum,
Yeah.
we don't do so bad.
Yeah. You just have to get through that armor.
really well together.
Yeah.
Lucerne comes over, and the mannequin actually stands up after you've destroyed it.
I clap it on its shoulder.
Don't touch me.
I was going to say good game.
But it's no longer this Lucerne persona. It's just like it's
mannequin.
just like a butler kind of
It's a
mannequin.
sassy butler.
Yeah. Lucerne goes like, "Oh, you really did a number on this paraffin. What did they get?" And it runs a
Can
quick
it just be like a
calculation.
number on its face,
Yeah.
like rolls?
It's like a little
So
It's
I got
8.
One,
It's 8
two,
total.
3, 8.
Cool, nice work. So yeah, you get 8 on your score. And she goes, not bad. I see you favor speed over any kind of technical prowess, but that's sometimes enough.
That was a little bit of shade, but I'll take it.
We tried our best, but we can always learn to do better.
Yeah, it's your first day. I wouldn't expect you to be able to get all the points from your first combat. So don't worry, there'll be plenty of times to practice all of these maneuvers in the
And then there's a
future.
montage.
We do it again,
Practicing all the things.
I know we're level 20. I shoot
the
lightning bolts
campaign.
out of my hands.
Pichu just picks up more and more things.
There's just it's you as Atlas lifting the world. Level 20.
The other teams all finish their combats.
Did you have a list of what points they all got?
Yeah,
8's pretty good, but we could have got a couple more there.
yeah.
If we could have tripped it.
Yeah, if we'd have tripped, it never got a ranged attack off.
Yeah.
Okay, so as the crowds all come together, there is a quick sort of announcement of all the scores as she goes through, and she says there will be three places that I will award. Third place will earn 1 lumen each. Second place will earn 2 lumens each, and first place will earn 3 lumens each.
I still don't know what those are for. Do you?
I don't know, but it's nice.
That's
I only got the one from the answering the question, not from picking her up, did I?
That's correct. Yeah, yeah.
That's just the approval.
Just as a quick reminder, your lumens are basically like a commodity that you can use to rent out magical items. So they're kind of like think of it as like a budget. Like the better you do in your classes and stuff, you'll get a bigger budget to access.
This is kind of our
stuff.
access tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely just remembered what those were for. Don't mind me.
Yeah. So she says, coming in third place with a very respectable effort on 6 points. Not very fast, but they managed to get quite a few different maneuvers in there. Will be Pit, Talon, and Juniper. And they all get up and
Respectful little golf club.
I give a really big clap for Juniper.
Specifically pointed at Juniper.
Good work, Juniper.
he waves. She sort of waves her hand, and you see like a bing, bing, bing on their instruments. And they each get some stuff. And then in second place, on 8 points,
So close.
is
There was a thing happening.
Kellen, Milo, and Beetroot. And the three of you get up. And you each get 2 lumens as a result.
Nice.
And in first place, carried entirely by one person, was Lorik, Latha, and Deckard. And 3 individuals get up. So you see Lorik get up.
Yeah.
You see a human man who looks quite like scruff and a bit scraggly, but is wearing like leathers that seems to know what he's doing, and a slim girl a slim elfish girl that you would have seen, or half elf girl that you would have seen from the first entrance exams, and she gets up as well, and they get their 3.
Way to go,
lumens.
Lorik!
Yeah, and he looks around and goes,
Good work.
Yeah.
and then that wraps up the class, and she says, all right, all of you have put in a very good effort today. I'm very pleased with a lot of your outcomes. And remember, what's the first lesson?
Always avoid fighting if you can.
Correct. Very good. You're not getting a second one for that, though.
That's fair.
Maybe I should have said it. Damn.
All right, go off. Your practice regimes. I've given you several exercises that you can practice in your spare time. And I'll see you next time we have a class.
I really want to practice tripping.
Yeah, we need to practice tripping quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you head back to shrug off all of your gear from the day. You've all worked up quite a sweat, I imagine, from all the physical exertion. And when you get back to your dormitory, what?
Every time something is
The
about to
dormitory has
happen.
become a very foreboding place for us
I mean,
historically.
many places are foreboding.
Lots of
It's
them,
just like
yeah.
the way that Gianni says something, and when you get back to this, it's like
So you're just opening the door with the door handle, yes?
so you just you put your hand on the treasure chest.
And everything is mostly normal.
You don't think you see anything.
Yeah. Everything seems to be fine.
Yes.
Now, when you get back to your dormitory, well, I feel like the
window.
Oh, come on.
I just have such a quick draw reaction.
This is how we process the anxiety that you make us go through every time we
Okay.
sit down at this table.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
When you return to your dormitory, I feel like you come back in sort of like pretty good spirits to
Oh, yeah.
considering your
Spring in the step.
successes and whatnot. But then you open the door and you come across the rest of the dormitory, kind of a bit glumly sitting around in the
Common room.
lounge area, and Esther stands up like when you all come inside, and I feel like whatever conversation you were having immediately stops. And you can see that they all like have a bit of a stricken face, or a stricken expression on their faces.
What's wrong?
We tried to stop them, but they said that they had permission and they had reason to believe that you three had that you were hiding stuff in here. And
Who came here? On what
and
grounds?
Celine sitting on the couch, she says, "Who do you think?" It's Conrad.
I immediately rush into my little side room
That
to
rat
see
bastard.
if Carafael is in there.
Yeah. You open up your curtain, and the tank is missing.
No!
And that's where we'll leave this episode.
Oh my god! This is the worst day of my life!
That's where we're. Oh my god!
Oh, I was right to have that instinct. I was like, something's wrong. Carafael, something's happened to Carafael. I should have taken Carafael with me.
Okay, Conrad's
Sorry,
sus.
Claire. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, we killing Conrad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm straight up gonna murder Conrad.
Oh no!
If anything has happened to my frog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we walk over next to Beetroot, and I assume we're behind Beetroot. We're just gonna sit down next to
Yeah.
Beetroot.
I'm gonna have to pause because there's a fly.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Get it, Carafael. Where are you? Yeah.
How did you get in here?
What can I hit it with? Whack it.
Whack it.
Bop it. Twist it.
Behind you. Hang on.
This is our outtake, by the way. You realize this?
I'm just gonna watch.
That way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Can't. So subscribe on Patreon so we can afford insect repellent.
Oh no, there it is. It's just went up. No. There. That way.
There it is. Yes.
Yes, we got it.
Huzzah!
Yay!